Mana Deprived and Terror present Part 5 of my Dark Ascension review, the last part, and I am talking about artifacts, the gold cards, and lands, and I wanted to use this text because I think it looks cool. Okay, gold is just straight up Andre the fucking Giant in this set. We've got the uncommons alone are amazing. Diregraph Captain is your quintessential zombie card. Other zombies get +1/+1. It's got Fog and Wrath Noble ability. It's got Death Touch. It's only 3 mana for a 2/2. My favorite card, Drugstall Captain, Spirit, Flying, 2/2, 3 mana, blue-white. Other spirit creatures you control get +1/+1 and have hexproof. That's an uncommon, people. You know, Diregraph Captain's probably going to get the most talk, but Drugstall Captain, you could argue, is the best card in the set. This card is going to get so much limited and constructed play. If you can get 2 of these, wow. Just think about that. Then we've got Drugskull Reaver. Quite possibly the most useless card ever created. I guess it's made for fun. I guess they just needed to waste a mythic spot. Flying, double strike, lifelink, whenever you gain life, draw a card, 7 mana for a 3/5 spirit. Okay, you play that, and then I play Urgent Exorcism. I mean, it's a card that could be played in Limited, but, you know, it's not a human, it's not a werewolf, you know, a lot of cards out there that can kill it. Here's your first quintessential black-red vampire. Flying, haste, if you sacrifice, you know, you can sacrifice things to make it indestructible. You can put 1/1 counters on it if you kill humans off, but there just isn't enough black humans. That's my problem. That's why the next set they're going to have a lot of black humans, hopefully. Having Gold Lich, I mean, it's a 4/4, which makes it formidable for only 5 mana. I think this card's going to see a lot of play. Just the fact that it's not a mythic, I think that it really has a lot of value, but the problem is you're casting creatures from the graveyard. Next you have Huntmaster of the Fells and Ravager of the Fells. I don't know, it does a lot of stuff. I read it, don't entirely understand. I don't know, something's going on there. Oh yeah, no, actually it's pretty badass. 2/2, 4 mana. When it enters battlefield or transforms, you get a 2/2 green wolf token and gain 2 life. And then it deals 2 damage to target opponent and 2 damage to up to 1 target creature. So you're gonna, that's the first werewolf that you're gonna want to flip. Put that in a deck with 4 Moon Mists, see what happens. Then we have, let's see, Immerwolf, which is another one of these captain-type cards for werewolves. Non-human werewolf creatures you control can't transform. Okay. Then you have Sorin, the Lord of Innistrad. Put a, you know, everyone is getting wet for this card. I love it. I think it's a great card. I think black-white is the best color combination in the set. Its second ability, you can argue, is as good as a lot of, you know, is almost like an ultimate ability. It's like a semi-ultimate ability for other planeswalkers. And then Stormkirk Captain is another captain, but for vampires, they get first strike and +1/+1. So, I mean, you can run the black-red vampire deck. Maybe in Constructed, possibly in Limited. Altar of the Lost, okay, it's a limited card, and it will see play in Constructed. Avacyn's Collar is possibly the best artifact in this set. Equipped creatures +1/+1 has Vigilance, but when it dies, you put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield, equip 2. That card is so insane, because then you're just able to aggro, go, 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 and you keep getting these tokens. Then you got Chalice of Life and Death. Everyone knows this card because it came out kind of early. You gain a life, then if you have at least 10 more life, then your starting life total, blah, blah, blah. You flip it. But flipping it's difficult, you know? And I'm not a huge fan. Here's the worst card ever made in the history of time. I guess this card is for, like, multiplayer. Equipped creature gets +1. So, for 7 mana, you get equipped creature gets +1/+0. And then if it deals damage to a player, it becomes a 13/13. And then when a player loses the game, put 13 1/1 counters on it. Yeah. So we're just going to forget that card ever existed, and we're going to move on to the next. Executioner's Hood, I think could be really useful. It's a good sideboard card. That's a miserable picture. I think it's a great sideboard card, to be honest. You go up against a deck, I mean, put that Elberus the Binding Blade on, you know, a creature would intimidate. Grafdiggers Cage is the card that's supposed to wreck the set, but it won't. Won't wreck the set. Snapcaster Mage can still be played. You know, Burning Vengeance isn't dead, I promise. Some people call this a sideboard card, but you know what? I think I'm going to run them in my main deck, like people run Witchbane Orbs in their main deck. So I really have no issues with Grafdiggers Cage. I don't think it completely destroys the format, so everyone doesn't have to, you know, cry or whatnot. Heavy Matog is a terrible, terrible card. 3 mana, 2/2, creature gets +1/+1, and if it's a human, it gets another +1/+1. I would rather use the Innistrad equipment. Hell Vault seems like another waste of a mythic. Exile a creature you control. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to exile my own creatures. Exile a target creature you don't control. And then, when it's put into a graveyard, return all cards exiled with it to the battlefield under the owner's control. So what, it's, you exile all your creatures and then, you know, use Blasphemous Act and bring all your creatures back? I mean, I just don't see much of a use for it. Jar of Eyeballs, meh. If it was put 1 into play and not 1 into your hand, it'd be a lot better, but I just don't see it as a rare. Warden of the Wall is one of the best artifacts you can get. It's a flying elf mirror type deal. It's a blocker, and it's 3 mana, and it adds a mana to your mana pool. I think it's fantastic, to be honest. And then you have Wolf Hunter's Quiver. This is going to be a really good card to run in your deck. I know it's expensive, but it turns any creature into a pinger. And forget the whole deal 3 damage to a werewolf, but, you know, it's a pinger. Pingers are useful. Prodigal Sorcerer got a lot of play. There's a reason for that. They reprinted Evolving Winds, which is fantastic, which means no one has to play Traveler's Amulet anymore. Mana fixing won't be a problem. Grim Backwoods, I think, is an amazing card because anytime you can get card drawing in green, and with the sheer amount of counters that you're going to have, like tokens you're going to have, you'll have tons of ways of drawing a card. Haunted Fengraf is a card that I'm okay with. I don't like it. I don't know if it'll see much play, to be honest. I mean, if you're running like 4 creatures in your deck, hurrah. Put it in like a Burning Vengeance deck and get back your Snapcaster, I guess. And then you have Vault of the Archangel, which everyone knows about. Creatures you control gain Death Touch and Lifelink. Okay. But I'll be honest, these are the lands, other than Evolving Winds and Grim Backwoods, I'm not a huge fan. Artifacts, Avacyn's Collar is amazing, and the gold is just great. So that's it. And I wish you guys good luck. If you're drafting, remember, Avacyn's Collar. Black's going to be overdrafted. Green looks pretty strong and limited for the pre-release. And don't be afraid to just play.